पेज 22 एनेक्चर 4। प्रखंड आपूर्ति पदाधिकारी विजयपुर द्वारा दिनांक 5/3/2018 को श्री संतोष कुमार सो एंड सो, लाइसेंस नंबर सो एंड सो औचक निरीक्षण किया गया। औचक निरीक्षण के क्रम में कई त्रुटियां पाई गई जो निम्नलिखित है। मेरे से 4 एलिगेशंस वर अवेलेबल। निरीक्षण के समय व्यापार स्थल बंद पाया गया। जांच के समय कई उपभोक्ताओं द्वारा यह बयान दिया गया कि आपके द्वारा नियमित रूप से राशन का वितरण नहीं किया जाता है। जांच के समय कई उपभोक्ताओं द्वारा यह बयान दिया गया कि इनके द्वारा माह जनवरी 2018 का राशन देर से दिया जाता है एवं जनवरी 2018 का राशन देते समय फरवरी 2018 का भी अंकित कर दिया जाता है। एंड द फोर्थ वाज, जांच के समय कुछ उपभोक्ताओं द्वारा बयान दिया गया कि आपके द्वारा शराब पीकर उपभोक्ताओं के साथ अभद्र व्यवहार किया जाता है। मिलॉर्डशिप, माय हम्बल सबमिशन इज 2 and 4 are ornamental, Milordship. What I may be permitted to explain the allegation number 1 and 3.
Appellate order कहाँ है?
Appellate order is at page 24, my lordship. The appeal was dismissed on the sole ground that I have not produced any further material before the learned character, the appellate authority, my lordship.
वो नहीं है। कुछ उपभोक्ताओं द्वारा यह भी बताया गया कि खाद्यान्न नहीं दिया गया। स्नेहालय के विक्रेता द्वारा कोई ऐसी नई बात नहीं सामने रखी जी। वो इसलिए इस कॉन्टेक्स्ट में कह रहे हैं, आपसे केवल नई बात नहीं एक्सपेक्ट कर रहे हैं। वो कह रहे हैं कि उसको जो लाइसेंसिंग अथॉरिटी ने जितने ग्राउंड्स को पाया सही आपका लाइसेंस रद्द करने के लिए, उसके बियॉन्ड आप कुछ नहीं कहा है। ये दिस इज नॉट अ नॉन स्पीकिंग ऑर्डर। फिर रिवीजन में क्या?
रिवीजन, द नेक्स्ट पेज, my lordship. Revisional order was passed just for the reason that my appeal was dismissed. It is purely mechanical.
It is not mechanical. We are also not inclined to interfere.
My lordship, 3 aspects of the matter are very important.
Yes.
Firstly, neither of the authorities has discussed about the documentary evidence, that is stock register and the sale register. The inquiry report is not available on the record before any forum itself. Though it was not supplied to me, though unfortunately that ground has not been taken at previous occasions, but the fact is that inquiry report was not supplied to this petitioner also, my lordship. The inquiry report doesn't say, or neither the notice say, that at what time the inspection was done. Secondly, my lordship, the statement of consumers are very much motivated. That is the glaring fact, my lordship. The authorities should have considered the stock register, sale register, the SIO. I have categorically pointed out these points in para 19 of my petition, my lordship, that when the allotment came, the situation was that on the date of so-called Auchak Nirikshan, the ration for the February was already distributed. It was 5th of March and the stock for the March has not come. So at this juncture, my lordship, even if it was found that the shop was closed, no harm was going to be done, my lordship. Anyway, that cannot be my submission. So, my lordship, this order is purely a mechanical order, my lordship. अब वो शराब पी करके तंग करते हैं, ये तो purely ornamental है. I don't think I have to submit anything over it, my lordship.
आप कह सकते हैं कि मैं ड्रंकन बिहेवियर के लिए उस समय कोई पनिशमेंट नहीं था जिस वक्त
नहीं उसमें आ गया था 18 का है आ गया था इट इज नॉट पॉसिबल कि हम 18 में पी करके. सो my lordship, my humble submission is, my lordship, that the allegation number 2 and 4 are ornamental.
Mr. Pandey, you are Santosh Kumar Pandey. Sanjay Kumar Pandey.
Sanjay Kumar Pandey.
Mr. Pandey, we are not inclined.
Millership may appreciate the most crucial document, the stock register and the sale register.
You never asked for it. And whether you asked for it or not, the stock register is not the issue of dispute here. Your godown was never raided and no deficiency was found. That is not the charge. So therefore, a stock register description is not necessary for the courts to see.
The closure of the shop. So
देखिए साहब, ये license जो है ना, उसमें जरा सा भी कुछ पाएंगे, the authorities have found, unless we find that you have not been afforded any reason, you have been victimized, no reason has been assigned.
But at least
we are not going to look into all
at
this.
least
It's a concession.
even
आपके
the
प्रॉफिट के लिए ये नहीं बना है, ये बेनिफिशियरीज के एडवांटेज के लिए बना है। आप उनको 2 महीने का राशन, 1 महीने का राशन देकर 2 महीना लिखाते हैं और अभद्रता पूर्वक व्यवहार करते हैं, गुड इनफ। They have given in writing to the authorities.
Millership, may I submit, Millership, it is all paper statement. It is not possible.
उपाय है हमारे
आज के डेट में ये संभव ही नहीं है कि हम 1 महीने का राशन देके और 2 महीने का लिख दें। The ward member and मुखिया are more vigilant than the consumers.
राशन कार्ड्स के थ्रू राशन उपभोक्ता आप नहीं है, इसीलिए आपको नहीं
ये जी है जरूरी है, कभी इस्तेमाल नहीं किया इसीलिए इनको
ऐसी बात नहीं, गांव से मैं जुड़ा हुआ हूँ मौजूद।
गांव से आप जुड़े होंगे, लेकिन राशन कार्ड होल्डर होते हुए भी वो आप केवल आइडेंटिफिकेशन के लिए करते हुए डॉक्यूमेंट। आप कभी चीनी या किरासन तेल लेते नहीं है, मैं भी नहीं लेता।
हम एंटाइटल भी नहीं है उसके लिए। Most important thing is that the so-called औचक निरीक्षण, there is nothing available on the record to show that actually some inspection was done, at what time it was done.
Third, Mr. Sanjay Kumar Pandey, number 5, learned advocate for the petitioner.
I am not in discuss, my lord, as a counsel for the state only.
And learned counsel for the state. The petitioner's license has been cancelled, which order has been sustained by the appellate as well as the revisional authority. Learned counsel for the petitioner has submitted that all the orders passed by the authorities are mechanical orders, without there being any reason or justification for the same. The shop of the petitioner was found to be closed on the date when the same was inspected. Some of the customers tagged with the shop of the petitioner had made a written complaint that after supplying 1 month's quota to the customers, their signatures were obtained. Their signature was obtained for 2 months delivery. It was also alleged against the petitioner that he displayed drunken behavior and ill-treated the customers. The learned counsel for the petitioner has submitted that none of these charges could be demonstrated by the authorities. In fact, the notice received by the petitioner does not indicate the time when the shop of the petitioner was inspected for him to controvert the correctness of the allegation therein that the shop of the petitioner was closed. The learned counsel for the petitioner has further laid grievance that the stock register was never examined nor was it adverted to. The inquiry report was also not supplied to the petitioner, and in none of the orders there is any reference of the findings in the inquiry report. On these grounds, the learned counsel for the petitioner has submitted that the order of cancellation of license in the first instance was wrong, and the orders of the appellate as well as the revisional authority have only repeated the order of the licensing authority while cancelling the license of the petitioner. After having heard the counsel for the petitioner and having perused the records, we find that there is a written complaint against the petitioner by the targeted beneficiaries about irregular supply of the food grains and intemperate behavior of the licensee. Stop. Though the Land Council for the petitioner has tried to rebut the aforesaid charges, but considering the fact that such charges were examined by the licensing, the appellate as well as the revision authority, we are not inclined to differ with the findings of the aforesaid authorities. Stop. Note, it cannot be gainsaid that in none of the orders there is there is any reference of the stock register or of the entries in the charge in the क्या कहते हैं उसको inspection report. But in view of the allegation against the petitioner, those are not required. There is no charge against the petitioner of not maintaining the up-to-date record for the authorities to have compulsorily checked and verified the stock register. So far as the inquiry report is concerned, the petitioner never made any grievance before any one of the authorities and responded as if he was in receipt of such inquiry report. Be that as it may, finding that the petitioner's conduct as a licensee was not above board, was not up to the standard, was not above that the क्या लिखा है पढ़ो? The finding of the authorities at all levels that the petitioner did not follow the rules of a PDS dealer and that the supply line to the beneficiaries was irregular. We are not inclined to interfere with the orders passed by the authorities. For the reasons aforestated, we dismiss this writ petition. Chalo.